Hello, friends. It's me, Cynthia,
Hi.
and Marty, and Azalea, and we are GreenGirlStudios, and this is our Sunday edition Magic Hour. Today, we are going to show you some of the things we've been up to all week, mostly prep for the big crafty that's coming up. Give this cat a treat. And by coming up, I mean we're loading in on Friday. It's in town. It's in Asheville. And we're pretty excited because it's one of our bigger shows. It's turned into pretty much it actually is our biggest show now. Would you say it is our biggest show? Which is pretty cool because it used to be just kind of like a summer market, that was downtown Asheville and Pack Square where kids were jumping through that. You remember when you jump through that thing that squirts the water up in a big jet and then you try to jump across it before you get it? So it used to be out there. Now, thankfully, it's indoors. Now, some of you might be like, oh, too bad. Now, we did have some people say that. I'm like, well, it's hot. It's not as hot as in some places. Actually, what is it right now? It's not that hot. It's 84 degrees, but still. It's like be outside all day.
100 degrees in the studio.
Yeah, it's pretty warm in the studio. It's an attic space, so it's pretty warm. Oh, hello, our friends. Hello, Deborah. Hello. Before we get too far in, can you guys give me a heads up if I need to hit the refresh or if we need to check on the sound? Do we sound good?
I'm sure somebody would have commented by now.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes I don't see it. Oh, I see Nilda. Hello, Nilda. It's good to see you. It's good to see my friends joining us. I told Azalea, I said, I kind of look forward to it. She goes, we were talking today about, I have all these different ideas of what I was going to show. So I've been working on wax work for the last few days. I've been making things for my buddy Jess. She's out in California. Some of y'all know Jessica Gaston, out in Santa Rosa, California. I was just making some things for her. And it's pretty exciting because I'm making things for the big crafty. So I'm on like a real time crunch. And this is where my superpower is good, because then I work best when there is
a nervous deadline.
When there's a deadline, you have to finish this in 2 days. That's when there's no other option. So, all right, I see that everybody's saying it looks pretty good. Thank you. Hello, Cecilia. Hello, Pat. Yes, that's what I want to see. Sharon says it looks. Oh, Sharon says hi. I thought maybe Sharon was saying it looks good. It does look good. You know what would be neat is if someone came up with a way that everybody could see all the comments. StreamYard did it for all the platforms on the bottom, so everybody
we do have that option, but it shows on our screen and it takes up like a good quarter of the screen.
Oh.
See, look. We can show it for just a second.
We'll show it as this is on Restream.
So if you click a chat overlay, now everybody can see what everybody's saying.
Well, how about we do this chat overlay for this first part? Oh, Nilda. Beautiful stone necklace. Well, you'll be happy to know, maybe happy, that this is actually polymer clay. This is from my book, Enchanted Adornments. And it was in my to repair pile. But when I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know what needs to be repaired on it. It has a little PMC, check that sweet little clasp. Isn't that charming? A little tiny. That's when PMC used to be readily available. I mean, it's still kind of available. But this was done. So if you want to know how to do this, it's not real difficult. It's in my book, Enchanted Adornments. I don't know where it's being sold. It's been out of print for a minute, probably 5-6 years out of print now. But this is an inlay. It's a polymer clay inlay. It's very lightweight, and it's pretty fun. The way you do this is you make this flat, big part first, cut it out, make whatever shape you want, and then you roll in a design, and then it's like kind of gouged out. Or there's I show different ways to make the design. One way I think I was showing one, it was pretty cool, with hot glue and an index card. So you can learn to make this. It's pretty you know, I had a lot of people saying they liked the book, but they also said that they didn't know where to put it because it was like PMC, polymer clay resin, with so many things. It didn't have a distinct category, and that actually made it where it was hard to, you know, hard to describe it. All right. Oh, thank you, my friends. I see some comments. Connie says, your necklace looks awesome. Thank you. Yes. How do you guys feel about this on running on the side? The overlay. I think it's pretty cool. Pretty nice.
I could change if you think the background is too busy, like the leaves and stuff, I can change that.
Karen says, good evening, everyone.
There's a bunch
good
of
evening.
options.
There's a lot. I didn't know that was an option. I think it looks good.
You like the trees moving in the background?
Yeah, it looks like crystals. It's like it's like this background. That's our scene. That's our scene. All right. So what else been doing? Oh, get in here, daughter, and show some of the stuff you've been working on. You can show that book unless that's secret work.
It's not secret. It's just
hello, Jeanette. Get over here and show it in memento.
Okay. Well, I have to figure out a way to not show this other page because this other page is like disturbing.
Well, all you have to do is put another piece of paper over top of it. That's easy. Sometimes I don't want to show all of the stuff because in case you do terrible work.
Well, it's not terrible.
It's
just nobody's. you know how it is sometimes.
Yeah, I do.
I don't want our video to get taken out. All right. Oh, hey! I didn't know that we hadn't switched the camera yet. We will be switching that. Where's my phone?
Marty was like he didn't want me to give him some sugar.
The busted cords strike again where they don't want to work. There we go.
Something we need to check on.
We have to replace some of our chargers because Apple products are kind of booty.
Well, you know how it is. They want to make that money.
There it goes. Oh,
I'm holding it.
Is that the right format?
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. It's just zoomed in.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, I'm messing up my stuff. All right. More importantly, my dolls. I've been making dolls lately. Let's get this out of here for a second. I think it's still wet. This one's a little bit freaky. This one's also a little bit. Actually, they're actually all a little bit freaky. But I've been making these cloth dolls to sell at the Big Crafty. They're kind of my vibe to make them a little bit spooky. I didn't want them to look like anybody else's. I want people to they'll be able to say, oh, did you see that person at the Big Crafty with the spooky teddy bears? I'll know it was me immediately. That's the goal, is to make them unique. So while they're a little bit freaky looking, I like that they're very unique. I put my little stamp on all of them, little shrinking ink that says Farmhouse Friends, made by Azalea Ogden. And I was able to make them pretty fast with round heads, which is what I'm pleased about. Because I got kind of tired of making cloth dolls with the flat heads. I don't know. I just didn't like the flat head feeling anymore. So I started making them the round kind. And they have a little like chin seam at the bottom. I could use that to make it even more scary, but I won't. So these are my first two.
Let me feel it. Oh, and then this is that Berber is pretty soft. Washed it. It's kind of neat because it has like a dark, like how some of the has like a dark. I don't know how to describe it. Kind of like how Marty's first starts off dark and then gets lighter.
Oh yeah, it has kind of like, it definitely looks like the fabric underneath that it was stuck into was darker.
Like a dark gray.
And then these are my other two. This one is a zombie bunny. I have little stitchings around the leg and a little bite mark in the ear that you can kind of tell. And a little stitching around the arm.
Oh, I like how that tail is perfectly rounded.
Oh yeah. All the bunny creatures have a perfectly round, squishy tail. And this is my goblin that I made today. He's a little funny looking with his snout, but I love him anyway. I've taken to using some of my old eyeshadow palettes because I never wear eyeshadow, and using them to kind of blush the fabric on my dolls to kind of give them a more like the way I did these. I used a little bit of eyeshadow. And I actually made a mistake on one of these. I won't say which one. And I tried to wash the eyeshadow out and it didn't work. So I guess that's good because, it won't come out. So this goblin looked like he'd been crying a little bit, but he's not. He's okay. But yeah, these are what I've been working on lately. I have 2 more goblins in the works, and I just have been getting out pieces of fabric and just random pieces of fur and fleece that I've been finding and making dolls out of them because it's actually pretty quick to make. The body is one piece, like one in the legs, and then I do a line of stitching right here after I stuff the legs, but before I stuff the torso, so then it can have the sitting effect, but I don't have to sew legs on. The only parts that I sew on by hand are the head and the arms, because I stitch the ears in while I'm sewing the side seam of the head, which is actually looks complicated, but it's pretty quick.
I'm gonna grab
So-
the waxes to show you.
Oh,
You want to show
okay.
this? Right back.
Okay, now I'm nervous because she's leaving.
I'm getting my waxes.
She's getting stuff. The other thing I brought over for show and tell that doesn't really have anything to do with anything is some illustration that I'm doing, some watercolor action. When I was about probably like 13 or 14, I started handwriting in old journals that I had in cursive a whole like series of novels. This is going to be cut in half, by the way. So this is one point of view, and this is the other point of view. Like this garden, this dude's a little wizard, and this is a little witch, and they have a talking cat, and they live in the forest with a greenhouse in the background, and I haven't painted in the roses yet. I'm doing my underpainting right now, and I'm gonna go over everything with some gouache and colored pencils to kind of flesh it out and detail it a little bit better. But these are actually characters based off of dolls that my mom gave me, and I've actually written like 4 books about them at this point. Probably not like super novel lengths, but they're full journals. And this one's Cassius, and this one's Faye. And I have dolls that I've made Victorian clothing for them that my mom gave me when I was little. He needs a little bit more detail in his face because he looked like a ghost. But that's what I'm working on behind the scenes right now.
Nice work.
Thanks.
Looks like you're doing a good job.
Thanks.
You're getting a lot of compliments.
I didn't read any of the chat because I was kind of nervous.
You don't need to be. You did a good job. I'll read them to you. Cecilia says, cute, cute, cute. Carolyn says, so fun, Azalea.
Thank you.
Tina's here. Tina says, hello, Cynthia and Azalea. Christine says, that's amazing. I see Clem. Hello, Clem. Clem says, absolutely awesome, Azalea.
Thank you.
Anthea says, wow. Cecilia
Yay.
says, you go, girl. You got what it takes.
You
And
got what it
Melanie
takes.
says, you are so talented, Azalea.
Thank you.
Azalea is talented and very hardworking.
Appreciate it.
So here's what I've been doing. All right, y'all remember, this was like the work of, I guess, for flipping forever. But I got these cabs a few years ago, and I've been building the bezels. So this is a sea-themed one. I have a coral branch that I started working on. So this is a coral one. I took one of these other branches. These are the ones that Joanne and I picked up on the Biltmore property. And this would work better with, I have a couple of more of these that I've been working on that have like a wild, like woodland animal. So this is the sprue. I'm going to cut this off, but I need it to build the tree. We went out, if you watched on Wednesday, I showed a little bit about the process with this, about how you have molds and things. And so right now I'm plotting and planning what I'm going to do. I'm going to make these branches and loops. I want a long chain with this. So this is how this is going to go. With wire wrap in between and gemstones. Gemstones here, and then you see these little things here, there's going to be gemstones. And I haven't decided if I want to put more of this action. I don't know, I'm undecided. So it might be like this. And then imagine it in silver, and then with lots of dangles, briolets on each side. And then I started this one. This is actually for this. So this is the sea themed. And so this is like a coral branch. Or it's not like it is a coral branch with barnacles growing on it. So I took a stick, one of these sticks, and altered it so that I had this look to it. And I might add a couple more so I can dangle from a couple more spots. Okay, now check this out. I've been working on this one for a minute. This is the sea dragon that is inspired by a children's book. I don't know, I might have told y'all this, but I don't know if anybody else had the Serendipity books as a kid, but I loved them. And if you have children or grandkids or kids in your life, they're very charming books. I remember them being so into them because they're have like soft kind of messages, don't judge yourself so hard when you're young because you might grow up to be. It's kind of like the ugly duckling stories, just kind of the fables retold. And so this is kind of with that in mind. This is not actually from the Serendipity Dragon. It's kind of inspired by, so it's not exact. And I'm putting that texture because it'd be kind of fun to, be raised and you'll be able to feel it. Oh, thank you, my friends. I see Melanie says that's going to be amazingly awesome. Thank you. Oh, Cecilia says that's going to be beautiful. Wendy's here. Wendy, hello. Oh, Morphing Design says I got my Looky Dip yesterday. Can't wait to design with it. Good. That makes me happy. Anne's here. Hello, Anne. We're just, we have been doing a little bit of show and tell. Azalea showed dolls that she's been doing and some drawings. Okay, so that, also this stick can go with this. That's the other reason I made it. So it's coral branches, and it'll have this nice texture. You see it? Like that. Okay, I'm going to put it in position. I don't know, I might not use this with it. Sometimes you just got to make things and see how it looks. So I've got that happening, and there's this. Let's check this out. So the last time we looked at it, I see. I already see a place where I need to fix it right under her chin. Let me see if I can get in there. Do you see what she's holding? Greg was like, nobody's going to see that because it's so super small. Azalea, what do you think? Can you see it?
I can see it. When I first saw it, I thought it was a baby mermaid, but she told me it was a seal.
Well, it's supposed to be a seal.
It's cute either way. If somebody sees it, they can see the round head and the tail. So you can either, first your mind goes to either baby mermaid or seal. Either which way, it's cute.
Yeah. For a space that's only a few millimeters, it could be an otter. And Thea says otter. Well, something fuzzy and sweet. That's what I was going for anyway. I was trying to make it look like a seal. But this is actually a very small. It's like the size of my. Look up, that's like my thumbnail, and I've spent
you got
hours
a lot of detail
on
that. For real.
Hours. Everybody keeps saying it's an otter. All right, fine, it's an otter.
I don't see otter. An otter has like feet and a thick tail that doesn't have fins. That one has fins.
I worked a little bit more on this. It's still in the works, y'all. It needs a little more fussing with it to make it good. Right now, it's giving me too much of a zipper vibe. This is the class to go with Tila bracelets. And I've been saying I haven't seen any specific clasps for Tila beads. C. Gray sent me a thing. I couldn't open up the attachment though, so I have to come back when it's downloaded and check out that picture. All right, so that's how that's looking. I feel like this could be, there's room for improvement. So that's. Oh, thank you, Connie. Connie says, Cynthia, you're so creative with your designs. Thank you, I try. This is kind of a secret idea. I don't know if my buddy's going to be mad or whatever, but I don't think she watches my live, so I think we're all good. Yeah, that's a true story, so yes. We'll keep it on the down low. It's just between us. So anyway, we're going to make lockets with this. And if you can picture it, this is going to be in another metal, silver, bronze, or whatever. But what it is going to be, I don't know if you can see it. This actually took me my whole life to get this to be sanded to 22 millimeters. It's supposed to be calibrated. Calibrated means that it will fit a bezel exactly. Like to say this is not calibrated. I'm sure there's differentiation. But, well, that's the reason I made this. So this stone is not calibrated. Calibrated means the stone is like 8 by 10, 10 by 12, and it's a fixed size that you can buy a bezel and set it into it. And a non-calibrated stone is like, this is kind of free form because this is not one that is a standard size. And if you have a non-standard size, it's kind of a pain because you got to make, I can't cast a bezel that will fit this stone because this is a one-of-a-kind stone. There might be some that's like similar, but this is like the depth and the pretty much there's just this one. I mean, I have other stones that are similar, but they're not exactly the same. So if I were to try and cast this bezel, I would still have to go in and doctor it up. So it's best to just, in my opinion, to just dip the stone, carve a design, and cast it, and then go through the rigmarole of getting it to fit because, the shrinkage, and then hope that there's a customer willing to buy the amount of time that's in that. I haven't sold one yet, so we'll see. All right, what's underneath here? There's something that's right by my feet, and like all these cords. What's going on here? Tangling me up. Oh, thank you, Vera. Vera says, hello, Cynthia and Azalea. Both of you are so very creative. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh. Stacy says, oh, love the plan for a tile bracelet clasp. Yes, I'm hoping those work out. I've got this one in the works too. And it is a little bit more... It's a little bit more organic, I think. Now, I'm not 100% on this. Sometimes I'm testing right now, in the testing mode. I might not ever produce this clasp, but this is how you test it and see what works and what doesn't. Oh, a very important thing I forgot about until now. We have a sale going on our website, and this sale is going on right now. What's going on? How much is it on the pewter, daughter?
15% off on the pewter, 25% off on our digital downloads, and 10% off on a restock of a bunch of her bronze coins that we had hanging around.
I just found a box of coins, and we don't usually do. I haven't been able to get good bronze coin or
clay.
There's the word. Sometimes your brain is working faster than your mouth.
Or your mouth is working faster than your brain.
In either direction. Anyway, what was I talking about this? So this is supposed to be a locket. One side is going to be
You were talking about the discounts.
And this side is going to be cast. I was clutching it. I was like, why am I still clutching this? Why is this still in my fingers anyway? Why am I still holding this? I'm going to clear the deck here. So anyway, that's what's going to happen with this. And I got to finish it. I have to ship on Tuesday, so you guys are I've been working myself like crazy getting that done. So anyway, I found a bunch of beads. I'm going to show a little bit of, can you move this stuff, honey? Your little babies. That has such cute ears. So
which one? The goblin?
Yeah, I like that they're pointing straight out. Oh, Clum says, I'm busy crocheting up the teeny treasure beads from my scoop. Good.
That sounds good. Let's post some pictures.
Yeah, y'all post it.
Let's see it.
So one of the things that I have, this is a box that I travel with. This is just one sample bag of what's in here. And I often have cases like this of beads that I'm working on. Like this is one. This is a scoop that I carry around in case I'm going to have time. And then I have like this and a little board that I can put on top or on the bottom of it. So it's like my, what do you call it? My workspace. So anyway, I have a bunch of these, just like this. Let me show the other type of thing also. The main problem here. It's not really a problem. But I don't know about y'all, but after I get done with a project, this is my shame here right now. So I tend to scoop everything like this. I do one of these and scoop everything into a bowl. And then from the bowl, they inevitably get thrown into a bag. And so I have so many of these bags that are hanging around my studio and in the garage and in the attic. Here's another one. I found another. And There's another case of them over there. But what I'm going to do is make another dip. I started this one. What's Karen saying? Karen says, you need to sell those carved out cabochons on the website so I can get the Moonstone Sunstone one. Oh, I have a few of those actually. So this is one that I started working on the other day. It's not the mala dip because the mala dip, I wanted to do rounds. So if I found any rounds in here, I picked them out and put them in another container. But if they were faceted, it was okay. So this one I showed you before. It was in this smaller tin, and I moved it and dumped it in here gently, by the way. I don't like my beads to get messed up. But this is what's in there so far. And so Azalea and I are going to go through the studio, and I'm going to go through these bags. And what needs to happen, when I say process, what needs to happen is some of the stuff that's too big, I'm going to put them in another container with big beads. And some of it that's like, I don't know, there's something in there that's like really, I don't know, like wood. I'm going to get that out of there. This doesn't belong. I don't know why that's in there. What's in there? Oh, these are from Marilyn Burke. Remember her? You guys remember Marilyn Burke out of the Seattle area? She was one of my first big customers. This was part of this strand. Oh my God, it was so expensive. Peruvian opal, and the strand was like this, and I had this massive necklace that I had for years. This was on it, so this necklace broke because I strung it with leather. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised that eventually after 20 years it broke, but I was planning on doing a restring. I just haven't gotten around to it. But anyway, like I have tons of these bags of beads that I just need to go through and just really organize it because it's so much. Like these pearls, they don't belong in there. I'm going to do a pearl dip. That's next on the thing. So I have these bags, these sandwich bags filled, and some of them have like stuff that was part of a lot sale. Maybe it didn't sell and they got thrown in here. And my plan is to go through, get the different sizes, and oh, this is my friend. What's her name? It'll come to me in a second. I can see her face. You know how I used to collect this gal's beads all the time. She made the best glass beads. Joanne. It's a different Joanne, but her name's Joanne. I can't think of her last name. I bet one of y'all know. She lived in Atlanta. I don't know if she's still in Atlanta. I think she's still there. Out of Marietta. Can't think of her last name. Anyway. Oh, Clem says all of those beads have holes that are big enough for double string knotting. I don't know. Let's just look in here and see. Some of this is kind of like a lot of them are. Get in there and look at that. So I would say for the most part, yes. But I can already see. Let me see. Stuff like this. Let me see. This is some citrine. Maybe this usually stuff like this has a small hole. So I would say that this has a mix. So this has a lot of, I think this is from Bead and Button. When there used to be a guy there, I think his stuff was called Beads Direct, but I haven't seen him in years. But this is when me and Aaron got these. They're kind of ridiculous. I'm looking at the screen right now, and the screen is showing this as kind of a like dark magenta, and in real life, this is fuchsia, hot fuchsia. And I saw it, and I was like, I don't care how they did this. I know it's dyed because this is actually moonstone, and they went through this process of soaking it, and like I was like, how is this even possible? And they somehow soak it and put this heat on it so that it stays. And me and Aaron, we were like, she came to the table and she goes, do you want to see what I got? And I said, did you get it from, I want to say, did you get it from Beads Direct? She's like, yes, I did. and she pulled out the same strand. It was so funny. So I was like, and then I went back later, and all of them were gone. And there was like 3 hanks, and I think everybody else had the same idea. It's like so crazy. Yeah, they're flashy, but I think they have pretty big holes. I think. Let me see. Actually, I would say that would fit medium soft flex, because if it had 2 holes, I would have put them on a string. So those probably have pretty small holes. Usually stuff like that, I like you know what I'm going to say. Wendy knows what I'm going to say.
A big hole bead.
I like a big hole bead. So this is from probably 15 years ago, Bead and Button. Looking at the bag, because I got them I have these Ziploc bags in my studio. It's almost like an architect, like an excavation. And I put them in tubs, like those plastic tubs, and I'll just put a date on it. And my initial thing is that I'm going to go in there and I'm going to take everything and organize it into another thing. That's always the dream. But I never really get around to it. So I'm going to force myself. My goal is to take like 4 bags by Wednesday. That's my thing, so that I can really fill this up. Because as it is now, I think I only have enough to do probably 10 dips. I wanted to do them in these big tins. Number one, I don't have these tins right now, so I need to order more of the tin. And I'm thinking they'll arrive by Wednesday. But see, that's how much is in it. And I'll have to see what else. Because there isn't really, I need to empty out some more stuff. I've got right in here, I've got a lot of, you can see in this scoop, that's bicolor tourmaline, it's lapis. Ooh, that's apatite. Quartz. This is from a strand I got from Carter. Y'all remember Carter and Adish at Bead and Button the same year that I got these. This was the same time. They had this beautiful cut. This is called Simple Cut. And these have nice big holes. Check that out. I don't know if you can see it, but you probably fit 4 strands through that. But that was my big. It was all so candy colored. So this is in there, and it comes in like pink, orange, it's a bunch of colors. There's some, looks like peridot, some nice peridot. Look at that. Juicy. So this one, ruby. This is a ruby. This is actually from a bag I got pretty recently. So there's a few things in here that are from my last necklace making excursion. And sometimes what I do when I'm done making a necklace is I just scoop everything into a box. That's my technique for tidy. So what I've done now is I've tried to get out any of the rounds, because I would like to do, this is what I took out earlier with mala beads. So I want to do a mala scoop, and they're all the rounds, and this is from a bunch of different ones. So anytime I find a mala out of it, or like any rounds, I'm going to throw them in here, and then faceted or unusual beads go in this. So like I got these a while ago. I don't know if you can still, I'm sure you can still get these because they've been made for like 1,000 years. Or these mother of pearl. They're really charming. I don't know. There's only a few of those in there. Christine says, how much is that size 10? I'm not sure. I'm going to have to do some, Carolyn, I am shooting for Wednesday to have some scoops ready so that it's more than, this is only like, you see, there's the end of it. Probably only 10 scoops out of this box, but I'm going to try and I have a few more of these. I think of them as like my excavation, I'm going to put in like, if there's like ones and twosies of these lots, sometimes it's like, I don't know. Like I don't want to mess around with it. So what I might do is just put them in. Like this is some purple emerald that we picked up in Franklin a couple years ago. That was good times. That's really good flash. But I think that'd be pretty in the mala kit. So I'm just adding, like, I have a bunch of these in here. Ooh, this is sapphire. I bought a strand of this, and I got this from Tawny when he was still around. He's one of our favorite bead guys. Now it's run by his daughter, Ruhi, and his wife, Ruthie. And we've done a live at their booth a few times, but this was, they don't usually do, this is like sapphire, but it's not like super, super duper high quality because it's, number one, it's opaque. And when you have an opaque sapphire, that's like, I think I fished out all the sapphire in here because you can't take them to we're getting ready to go on Wednesday. This Wednesday, we're going to go to the Mineral Society. Oh, here it is. This is sapphire right here, but this is also opaque. This is really hard, but it's about the same quality. Sometimes you get a star. I don't know if you can see it, but that's what you're looking for. This doesn't really have a good star on it, which is probably why it's in there. But I'm going to put those. That's what I'm doing is I'll get all the ones that are mala shape and fish them out of here. And that's some more of those sapphires. That one has more of a star on it. You can see it. And so that'll be in that scoop. Oh, and this is that. I love this stone. It's kind of like a moonstone it's like sunstone and moonstone at the same time. So anyway, that's on my agenda is going through. I'm going to try and get a couple of these done. So it's fished out. So like faceted things go in this box. Go in there and try and do it that way. Anything faceted. But I don't want to put in there. One thing I was debating is I have this one that's kind of cheesy. This is probably the most cheesy thing in there. But it is kind of a desirable stone because you can't get it anymore. And these would make, and I've made earrings with them. They make great earrings. They're a little bit big though. Oh, Wendy says, cool. I wish I was going with you to the Mineral Society. It is a lot of fun. Carolyn says the milky stones are pretty. Which ones are the milky stones? That must be this one I think you're talking about. So this was a bunch. I could do the malas where there's, let me see. Clutching, so I'll just dump these in a bag. You know what? I think just myself, I could keep Ziploc bags. I use the Ziplocs like they're going out of stock. They're going out of style. How pretty this one is. You guys are kind of watching me make my lucky dips. I think this one though will be the start of the mala blend that I'm working on. I have so many of these bags. You can hear them all rustling around over here. Check this one out. Oh boy, it's gonna be a lot of work to go through this one. Oh, Donna says, hiya bead peeps. Hello, my friends. Hello, Donna. I was just thinking about you the other day. If you remember this glass, her name's Joanne, but I can't. Zakowski. There it is, Joanne Zakowski. I knew I'd remember it. It's kind of a blast from the past. I used to see her at the Atlanta Bead Society show. And I'd stock up on her beads. They have this neat texture where she puts baking soda on the surface and you get that cool pitting. I don't know. It gives it an ancient feel. I love them. Anyway. Carolyn says, I may put my stones in boxes too by cut. You know, I tend to put things in by cut just because sometimes I don't like to mix and match. Like in here, I tried to dig out what's not faceted. These are the ones, they're carved, but there's also like this. See, that's some of that in there. That was from, I think last year, Tucson, the citrine melon cut. I think that's what. Donna says, just send me that big old bag. I wonder how much that would be. Because these guys, these retail right here, the strand, I bought them. That's a gooseberry. They're antique. They're probably made 100 years ago. Actually, probably older than that now. I don't think these were ever in circulation. Got those ages ago when I visited a friend of mine that only sells antique beads and coins. Which reminds me, this is something I've been taking to bead shows. Azalea found it. And I hadn't taken it in a long time. But this, I used to put this in my booth. So there's a little piece of silk to pad everything. But my friend made this lucky Neko cat out of glass. Can you believe that? That's glass. With all that Marini in there. The Marini is this part right here. Maybe it's signed. I need to get my optimizers because I can't read what that says. But I think my friend Mavis made that. Joanne Zakowski. I think it's spelled like Z-A. And here's some things that are supposed to be lucky for a show. You know, I don't want to say, somebody said that superstition is like for those that are like soft in the head or very, that's not very logical. But I remember this, I don't remember where it came from, but a friend of mine used to say, superstition is the poetry of living. And, I was like, why not just lean into it and just, what can it hurt, right? I mean, it's a small thing. What can it hurt? So these are like little lucky coins. These are actually really old. I got these from my friend Bossum that used to do the best bead show. It was set up across, I used to say across the street. It was across the hallway. And these are from ancient Rome. And they were found on a dig site. I used to have this little card so it said where they were found, but that's somewhere in my studio. I don't know where that is. And then I have a little vial of, these are called Tunduru gem gravel, and they're not drilled. And I've talked about this river in Africa called the Tunduru River. And there are little sapphires that's their beach glass, but it's armed guards like 24 hours a day. So you couldn't go in there and scoop it up. There's no way, because it's, it looks like this. So anyway, I keep that in there. There you go, Zoe. I saw she looked up.
Wow.
And my friend got this from me. Jeremiah bought this from me in Japan. It's a lucky frog. That's probably ages ago. So anyway, this was a few of my things. Conch shells are supposed to be pretty lucky. So a little cardamom is supposed to be lucky. Anyway, that's my lucky box. And when I go to shows, I open it up, put the lucky Neko cat like this. So it's welcoming the money to your booth. So when I'm done, it goes to sleep like this.
Cute. It's charming.
Well, I don't know why I spent all that time showing you guys about my lucky.
They like to see.
Anyway, I was telling Isaiah, I said, what should we do? So we're going to build this up on Wednesday. We're hoping to have 2 different sizes of tins, maybe this size and this size, but this, I don't know how much you'd get. This is better for small beads. But this doesn't seem like it's enough. I don't think enough. Seeing as how I have all these bags too. So I would like to make it so that each one is a good amount in each scoop. And what I'm going to do is probably spread it out and see how much, because you can kind of see if like one scoop is like, you can line it up and say, how many would that make? Would that stretch to a 16-inch strand? So then you kind of guess. Because it would be really hard to figure out, because it's like, how will I know? So what I'm going to probably do is look at each thing and see like an average. You have to pick it. Like this is like the opal. This is more of that tourmaline I was talking about with the nice big holes. That's that kind of blush pink color, like kind of like tangerine. But it came in like pink and orange and blue. Here's a piece of it in a dark. You can see that color. Pretty nice. Oh, so here's another thing that we're going to be working on. It's ready. I'm going to be painting some of these guys. Did I already say about the sale that's happening on the website?
You talked about it a little bit, and then you got distracted.
Connie says, will you sell the tins by the gram? I'm going to have to see. I don't know exactly yet because I need to weigh it and see. I don't want it to be, number one, I want to be able to sell it. I want to make it where it's like, oh, this one tin is $500. I want to make it affordable. So anyway, this is fresh from the casting machine today. Greg worked on getting these done. This is his work. And these are destined for the big crafty. I'm going to be painting them, some of them. I'm going to make necklaces, but here are some that are painted. So right now, what is the sale on this? Is it 10%, 15% off right now?
15 for the pewter, 10 for the bronze coins, and 25 for the digital items.
So I don't know if you guys heard that, but there is a sale going till the 9th.
And the pewter sale's going to the 11th.
Yeah,
So
did y'all hear that?
I sent out a newsletter for the coins and the digital download sale, but I did not send out a newsletter for the pewter because we just did that like an hour ago.
Yeah, so right now like we found a thing of coins in my collection and we immediately restocked the website, and Azalea put a nice little discount. So if you want to check out what I have another bronze clay that's coming that'll give us that nice thin quality that we're looking for. I can cast the coins, but they're not as thin. They come out a little bit thick. So that's the difference. All right, so this is an old one right here, but this is one that people love, this one. And you know what? I love painting this one. This little hand, Azalea, do you know that one? The little heart.
Captive heart.
Oh, she knows that. Don't remember what I named them. This is one that I like to carry in my bag because it's kind of mysterious. Like one side is like this, and then they're like, so how do you use it? It could be a coin in your pocket, like, sometimes people have like a lucky coin, or if you look at the top, you can see where there are multiple places to attach. Like you can attach one from here. I don't know if you can tell that. See that? Look at all the space to attach. And also on this side, so you could dangle, or you could do it from here. I tried to make it as versatile as possible so you could actually mount it from here or here, dangle from here, could be like this even, or that. So it's like multifunctional. It's one of the best-selling pieces. So I'll probably have this. We have on the table, we'll do like little, like really pretty bowls. Maybe not this kind of bowl. But look how pretty that looks. Don't they kind of remind you of like fish eggs or something? Frog eggs. This is a pretty new one. The Mushroom Kingdom. The hole goes this way. Runs through this direction. Looking through, it's like, yeah, it's drilled. Oh, it was so dark, but so this is coming soon. Oh, and then I wanted to show this as well. These are painted ones that I did a few weeks ago, and we made some pretty cards. I don't know if I showed the finished card, but I have one here. What do you think of the finish? This is a painted pewter gator piece, so looks pretty good, huh? GreenGirlStudios, you can see the name. And this printed really well. We had these done locally by our friends over at ACI. That's, what is it? Asheville Color and Imaging. I was like, what does the A stand for? Duh. And then look at what it says here. This is the back of the card. There's Marty, and it says, I do what I want, because that's how he is. Handcrafted in Asheville, family owned and operated. This amulet was created from the finest lead-free pewter. And then, here's the most important part. All proceeds go to maintaining the lifestyle of our cat, Marty. And then in tiny letters, and the rest of the family. So that's pretty good. And that's all of the places in our QR code. So anyway, that's how this one, and we have 6 more designs. So that we launched these at the Honey Fest like a month or so ago, and we sold a lot of them, surprisingly. So, it came up. It was useful to spend the time Oh, I see. Cecilia says, I like it. It's beautiful. Thank you. Yes. You know what? I tried really hard to make this as pretty as possible. So the other ones are equally pretty, if not more so. I just thought this one looked particularly good. With this one, I used a nice patina on this alligator. I think it looks really smart. So this is a technique I'm going to do. I'm getting ready to launch this. It's on our things to do. Azalea and I have been working on this for a minute. So this is a painting technique. If you went to the Fresno retreat, then you are familiar with this painting technique that I was working out. And that was like my first test class was in Fresno. Was that last year, Zoe, or was that more than 1 year? That was 1 year, right? I think 1 year.
Almost exactly a year ago.
Almost 1 year ago when we did that. So this kind of tech, it's like, I think of it as kind of like Roman glass a little bit, or an antiquing. If you've ever seen Roman glass, there's that kind of color shift. And so I've been practicing it to make sure that I have it down before I do, start sharing it, making a PDF, because that would be awkward. Before I release any of my PDFs or anything, we double check, triple check, and make sure that they work. Send it to our friends and make sure it can be downloaded. Oh, look how good this one came out. Oh, Stacy says, I'm wearing that big moth right now. Awesome. Thank you. Cecilia says, the painting is wonderful to frame. That was my intention. I thought it would look good. Carolyn says, beautiful paintings on the cards. Look at Marty. Yes, he's still here waiting for the rest of his treat. But this is that technique. Look at it on this. These are all pewter, by the way, and I'm using this very durable finish. So that's another thing that we've been working on is the PDF tutorial for this painting style that can be used on metal, wood, different things. I'm going to check all the different things that it can be used on. So I've been testing different surfaces. For sure works on pewter. Look at how good that one looks. It's fun. So this is the one I was talking about. You can see it better, where it has this kind of multi-surface, that kind of interference. That's with using different pigment powders. So this is a pigment powder and sealant technique. Here's another one of those. Those are all a little bit different. I kind of went crazy with doing these little sunsets on these brass pieces. This one came out good too. So I did this, and then what I did was on some of them, this came out particularly good. This is with a little bit of gold powder. If you hit it with a piece of a sanding sponge, like this is a fine piece of sanding sponge right here, super fine. I cut these in these small squares, and one good thing about that is if you use it to cut, you can kind of sharpen your scissors too, because the action of doing this will sharpen them if they're getting kind of dull. So this is one way to sharpen. Like you can cut it. Listen to this sound. Oh, now you can't hear it. But it will sharpen it just gently. So, and the reason you want them small is they're a little bit more malleable. And you can get in there and say you don't want, this is pretty shiny. This is one of our best sellers. This is one Greg made. It says wisdom on it. Our buddy TJ took this to a festival, like one of those kind of festivals where there's that kind of music that's electronic. What is that called when you do it? It's like where then there's somebody action painting on a huge, what is that called?
I've never been to anything like that.
Me neither, but
I don't know what that is.
It's kind of like a little bit like a rave. And also, but I think most of the time the food is vegan. And you're trying to raise your vibration. So anyway, at this festival that is about kind of like natural vibrations, this was brought like 50 of them. And our friend was like, you would not have believed how many of those I sold, and everybody was wearing them. So
Which one?
this one, the wisdom.
Cute.
TJ took it to a place, like a festival in Boston, that was like one of those. It's not a rave. I can't think of it. One of you. Clem says EDM. Clem, what does EDM stand for?
I think that's what that is that you're talking about.
Yeah, but I don't know what that's short for. Electronic dance music is what my brain just read. I don't know if that's what it stands for. But anyway, that's what this one was good, like that. This pendant was the featured piece that our friend brought and sold a bunch of them. But anyway, that's what this is good for. These sanding sponges, you see, if you want it matte finish, you just hit it very gently. You don't have to go crazy with it because it is a fine sandpaper. The other side is good for just lightly buffing and not taking too much. It just takes off the shine just a little bit. A kitchen scrubby sponge that's never been used is like the softest one, and it will do the job. But you don't want to start using it because then it becomes soft and it doesn't work as well. You want to make it where it's kind of stiff right out of the package. If you don't have this is double-sided. One side is very kind of soft and stiff, and then this side has a little bit of sandpaper grit that's embedded in the surface of it. So you can use it to kind of buff the surface. So that one, I think, looks pretty good. Doesn't need anything. But I could go in with some vintage paints and hit that in the recessed areas. And that will never, if you paint that in the recessed areas, where's one where I did that? I was just holding it. There we go. It will not get worn away. Like the edges of some of these other pieces can be shined. I'm going to wipe off any of the extra powder. This is a brass piece. But you can see if you go a little bit too much, if this is too fresh, this has been kind of used a little bit, so it's not 100% ready to go. Well, it's just not, it's been, some of the grit has been taken down a notch because I was sanding a bunch of different things with it. I don't even remember what I was sanding. Probably resin. Oh no, I remember. I was sanding the insides of these. So I had this, and if you don't clean up the inside of this bezel really well, you could really screw up your stones. So it has to be very smooth on the inside as to not mar the stone itself, because that would be terrible to mess it up. And then it's on there forever. It's protected this way because if you look, like it sticks out farther than the actual stone. So this side is very well protected, and this side goes to your skin. It's pretty good. All right. So what I was talking about is to take this after you've done a layer. I've gone over this with a couple layers of my sealant. And I like that the highlights are silver still. So if it does get worn, because the highest parts will get worn away, you have the color will remain in the recessed areas. So it's still pretty, it's pretty good. But usually what I like to do, like this one doesn't, you can see where I did it on this one too, where you could take the sanding sponge, and here's one that has not been. So this is just straight up, I did the complete surface with that treatment that I was talking about with the pigment powders. Now, what naturally would occur is it would get dinged up against your clothes or your coat or whatever. And I'm going to hit it with the aggressive side of the sanding block. And you can see, I'll do one side so you can see what it does. It'll take off some of the finish. Let's try it on this side. So this is before this side has been done on like this side. You can tell some of the patina has been buffed away, and that's like the rest of it, the recessed areas will continue to have that kind of shimmer in the recessed spots. So that's with some of the antiquing. I think it looks pretty good. I like it. So that will give it the well-worn look. You could also go over it with more of the sealant and make it so that it doesn't budge. So that's one side and that's the other without it. But this is what it would look like after being worn for like a while. Some of these I keep them in my like a little pouch, and in that pouch, they can get kind of, you know, you expect it to kind of get like a little bit dinged up, but it sort of maintains that finish if you highlight it. So I'm going to do this one too, I think. This is a little less, like, it's more, it has that color on it, especially there. So basically kind of lightly, the satin finish is basically, you know, you're getting a satin. Looks pretty good. This is a popular one too. So these are sanding sponges from 3M, and you can get a pack of them. I got these at Ace Hardware. They come in different grits. There's one that is super good for silver, and what it is like a sponge. It looks like a kitchen sponge, and it's automotive sandpaper sanding sponge, and it's like a dark maroon, and that's my favorite one for that. And I cut them into the same kind of size because this is kind of manageable. When you get the big full sheets, it's kind of unwieldy, but you know, it works pretty well to buff that surface. So I found these as I was going to show people and say, you know, I had these sitting in my collection. I'm going to finish them out. I used to sell these. I sold them in a minute because my friend that made these capsules, Shannon Hill, he passed away a few years ago, probably 10 years now, maybe more. And my friend Kathy started making these containers for me because it's kind of a nuisance to make. Donna could probably make like 500. Donna, I believe that you did make capsules, but this is the use that I made with the capsules. Was teeny stones. There's all kinds of fun things in there. Things that didn't, you know what happened is I put beads that I accidentally cracked and, you know, that you can't use anymore, and you couldn't put in PMC or anything because they're too soft. So that's what happened with that. And in this one had like tiny seashells and things. Real pretty. All right. What else was I going to show? I think there's something else, but now I don't remember what that was. I think that's on my agenda. I wanted to talk about the sale, the pewter sale that's happening now. We have also, if you've been waiting on, we have the paper dolls. They are, was it 25%? All the PDF digital stuff is on sale at 25%. And these guys is always at 10 or 15. I was just repeating the sale, reminding people of the sale. Do you want to drop that link in there for me?
Yeah.
Wendy says those containers are gorgeous. Is it glass? Yes, those were handmade glass pieces. I'm just buffing this out until Azalea gets to the dropping that.
What am I dropping the link to? Everything's on
site.
sale. There's not really a link to drop to. Just the website in general.
Yeah, do that.
Okay. I got all my tabs closed out the other day by someone. So I have to go open everything up again.
Good job. I do like polishing these. It's part of the fun of this. You know, I sold all the ones, the owls that I have with a little bit of a finish like this. I did them with a white and they came out so sweet. There we go. You can see that I was kind of on fire with this pearl color. I did quite a few in that pearl. Yeah, the unicorns I thought specifically looked super good with this kind of, this is 2 layers of interference colors. When you mix 2, you can see that you get both the blue and the gold. Isn't that neat? So that one, I think I'll do that next. It's on my things to do. So there, this is a good way to show it, one side and then the other. So if you want a matte finish, a toothbrush also works. If you want that for, if you want it to have that kind of satin sheen, one reason you might want that is so that you can really see the details. Sometimes when it's really shiny, a lot of people love it super shiny. That's the main way that folks love our beads, is when it's like right out of the tumbler with that shine. But my favorite way is where it's like, kind of like this, where it's like a little bit matte or satin, I guess. You can see the difference. Pretty cool. And here I'll show it on this one. So sometimes before I paint a piece, I'll hit it with this little bit of a sanding sponge and kind of get the surface prepped. And your paint or your patina will last a long time on this, especially if you go over it with a brass. They have really soft brass brushes that work really well, and or even a toothbrush works pretty well. And your patinas will stick really good if there's a little bit of a roughed up surface. So that's the difference. You can see it. One is kind of like a little like, let's see, chrome-ish. All right, my friends. So we are going to be pretty busy. I'm hoping to have this bead blend here for you on Wednesday. That's the goal. I'm going to go through a few of these bags to fill this out, because right now it's only good for probably 10 tens. So that's something to look forward to on Wednesday. We should have that ready to go. I'm going to be adding a bunch of stuff to it. And then if you're in Asheville area on Friday, we'll be loading up for the big crafty on that day. Oh, my fingers are so black from adjusting that. Adjusting the next camera. Where is it? Look at that cat. He knows what time it is. Watch him. See, I didn't say anything, but look how he starts to get interested.
He's ready.
He is ready. He's been a good boy.
Tongue out.
What else is happening that we need to talk about, Azalea?
I don't know. We've been going an hour and some, so I think we got everything out.
We're almost done. All right, my friends, we're wrapping it up. Thank you for joining us. We had a wonderful time hanging out with y'all. We hope that you have fun and enjoy the things that you've made with our new scoops. We're really interested. As I said, she likes seeing the various pictures of what people are making. I do too. I like to see what people make with my picks. Carolyn says, for the powder pigments, what do we use? What do you use? Well, I have a bunch of different kinds. My favorite is, I can see the bottle in my mind's eye. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything ready and show that a little more thoroughly so that I have everything ready. I don't have it in front of me. I want to say it's not Primatech. That's the Daniel Smith. You know, there's a brand that goes pastel, or well, not pastel powders or pigment powders. You know, there's all different kinds now. There's some for nail polish. There's a bunch of different kinds out there. Ooh, what did you find, little daughter?
One of those rubies.
Let me see. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. I love a ruby. All right, my friends, it was fun hanging out with y'all. I hope you had a good time. We will see you on Wednesday. All right, friends. Okay, good night.
Good night, everybody.